Business and Legal Structure. My name is Precious Toju. On this episode, I'm going to talk about breach of business contract during a pandemic, the way forward. So it's no longer news that the whole world is experiencing the coronavirus. Most systems of the world has shut down. The economy is not actually booming the way it should or used to be. Now, the question is, what happens to business contracts? Contracts between individuals, between partners, between companies and individuals. What happens to business contract that has been entered into before this coronavirus came into play? What happens to monies that has been paid to probably suppliers or to anybody that was a part of a particular contract to fulfill an obligation as a result of the business contract? What happens in this era that we are, in this coronavirus pandemic that the whole world has found itself in? What is the way forward? If you have been into a contract, you entered into a contract to either supply certain things or you have been paid some amount of money to supply one certain goods or provide certain services, and you have not been able to supply them or you have not been able to fulfill your own part of the obligation. Now, what are the things that you are to do? How can you escape? Because the truth of the matter is you have been paid to do certain things, or you entered into a contract to fulfill certain obligation. The question now is, what is the way forward as a result of this pandemic that is all over the world? Even a little child knows that there is a pandemic somewhere. However, do you just walk out of the contract? The question now is, are you going to be liable for breach of contract? Do you just walk out of the contract, or there are certain things that you need to do? Now, I'm going to be dishing out three basic things that you can come up with as a party or someone that entered into one agreement or the other. And one of the things that you can come up with is force majeure. Now, force majeure simply means that as a result of unavoidable catastrophe, as a result of unavoidable circumstances that came in concurrently as at the time of your contract or as at the time of you fulfilling the contract, you were not able to execute your own part or perform your own part or fulfill your own part of the obligation or the part of the business contract. Now, another thing that you can fall back onto is the art of God. And the art of God could be natural disaster. It could be this pandemic, which is the coronavirus that is everywhere. You could also come in defense with that. You can actually plead that as a defense, that as a result of the art of God, as a result of the global pandemic that is happening in every country of the world, you were not able to fulfill this your obligation, the business obligation, your own part, because the other party will have done its own part and is just waiting for you to do your own part. And then the last thing you could actually come up with is commercial impracticability. It simply means frustration, specific performance impossibility. A result of what is happening in the world, you have been frustrated. The steps you have taken towards fulfilling your own part of the contract, the business contract, has been frustrated as a result of the coronavirus. So you could come under force majeure, or you could come under the acts of God, or you can come under frustration, which is commercial impracticability. However, before you can put up this defense, you will have to link your own obligation to this act. In one word, if you were paid, for example, to supply bags of rice, which you have started production on, and as a result of the shutdown, the federal government has, for example, in Nigeria, the federal government had ordered for 14 days shutdown. Now, you should be able to link your activities, which was truncated as a result of this shutdown, to the federal government's order of shutdown. Now, you cannot link this if, for example, you have been paid money in January and you were given 30 days to supply these bags of rice, for example. Now, the shutdown order came in just few a week ago, so you cannot actually plead it. That's one. And the shutdown is in specific states: Ogun, Lagos, and Abuja, which is the Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria. So you may not be able to plead it if you are outside the states of the country. In one word, for you to move forward in a contract that has been truncated as a result of the coronavirus, you have to plead either as a force majeure or acts of God, or frustration. However, you should be able to link your own part of activity, your own obligation to whatever pandemic that is in the world. You should be able to link that as a result of this coronavirus or whatever, or hectavirus, or whatever virus is in your country, the result of this virus or pandemic, whatever it is, it has truncated your own part of obligation. You have not been able to fulfill your own part. So this pandemic came concurrently with the time, legal time, in which you're supposed to perform your own aspect of the contract. Now, the way forward is you get a lawyer. If it was a written agreement which was specifically pleaded, the clauses were there in the contract of sale, or the contract of the contract of sale, contractual agreement, whatever it is, you will get your lawyer to write to the other party, emails, whatever. The lawyer writes and explain the reason for your inability to perform your own part of the obligation, the contractual obligation, or the business contract. Now, your lawyer explains this and probably asks for more time to fulfill your own part when the shutdown or the pandemic is has gone off the surface of the earth. And if it is an oral contract, you can also get your lawyer to write. Now, do not just assume that the other party who has paid for your services and for your products would just assume, but you just expect him or her to just say, oh, there's a pandemic all over the world, so he or she should know there's a shutdown. No, you cannot assume that. You have to go formal, because you have an illegal obligation to fulfill, and so you have to let them know through your business solicitor or attorney that you have been frustrated. Your part of the contract has been frustrated rather, as a result of the pandemic all over the world. Thank you for taking up the time to watch. I will see you next time. Please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and stay safe.